Hi, everyone. I'm Carl Amari. This is Lisa Wolf. We're the hosts of Hollywood 360 on the radio, and now we're the hosts of Do You Remember, the live stream show. So this is literally live, and you can connect with us through your YouTube channel. And we're going to talk about nostalgia.
And this is our very first show, so
First
we're
show.
excited to meet you and be with you. And we'll reiterate the fact that anything can happen here because it is live. And with Carl and with me, anything will happen.
That's right.
That's for sure. So we are not only going to play classic radio on YouTube, we are also going to have a little bit of fun, have a few segments, and I don't know, anything can happen.
Yeah, a little later we're going to do a segment called Show and Tell. Remember when you were in high school, Lisa? Or
High
even,
school?
Well, not high school.
I didn't do high school.
Preschool,
Show and
not
tell.
preschool. What was it? Grammar school.
Right.
You did Show
Don't
and
you-
Tell.
We did Show and Tell with Romper Room. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was,
So
Do You Remember?
we have Show and Tell, and I'm just going to tell you, Lisa doesn't know what I'm going to show her and you in our Show and Tell segment, but it's from 1975. I'm going to always bring out something.
I wasn't born yet.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. And we're also going to, connect with you. Please message us and ask us anything. We're going to ask you things. But we'll be here every Sunday night beginning at 7 p.m. Central Time. So mark your calendar. And it's all about nostalgia. That's what we do. So we are going to play in the next 2.5 hours. We're going to play 4 classic radio shows for you. We're going to start things off in just a moment with Dragnet. Then a little later, it is the Jack Benny program. Then Have Gun Will Travel and Boston Blackie. And that's what we do on our radio show, play classic radio shows. And that's what we're going to do here. Right?
Ready to go?
Yeah. Let's start off with Dragnet. Jack Webb starred on not only the radio show and TV show, he was the producer, he was the director, he was really the man when it came to Dragnet. Dragnet was on the radio for 9 seasons, began in 1949. It was sponsored for much of that run by Fatima Cigarettes. You will hear cigarette commercials on this radio broadcast. And he used all the best actors from Hollywood in supporting roles. And these stories were actual, true stories taken from the files of the Los Angeles Police Department, dramatized on radio. So let's go back to a broadcast date, May 25th, 1950. This is called The Big Key. Jack Webb stars now in Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. In the past 5 weeks, an unidentified holdup man has robbed 12 drugstores. He's taken money and narcotics. There's no lead to who he is or where he is. Your job, find him.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, March 16th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief of Detectives Thad Brown. My name's Friday. We were on our way out from the office, and it was 9:36 a.m. when we got to the corner of Hobart Boulevard and Westmoreland. Petitioner Drugstore.
In the back.
Yeah.
Something you want?
Yes, sir. We'd like to see Harry Tishner.
Yeah, I'm him.
Police officers. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Hello.
How you do, sir?
About the robbery, huh?
Would you like to tell us what happened?
I was robbed.
We'd just like you to tell us how.
Oh, now I'm with you. Yeah, I'm right with you. Let's go back and sit down. Get to telling the story, and time just melts away.
Yes, sir.
Might as well be comfortable while we all fall out.
Yes, sir. This all right here?
Yeah. Like a phosphate or something?
No, sir.
No, thanks, sir.
Okay. And let's quit all this fooling around and get down to business. Want me to tell you about the holdup?
Yes, sir. We'd like that.
Good, good. That's just what I'm going to do.
Go ahead.
Aren't you going to take anything down, right?
Well, yes, sir, as soon as you tell us the story. Now, if you'd like to start in.
Well, came in about 8.
That was this morning?
Yes. Just walked right in the door, came back to the prescription counter, and stood there.
Mm-hmm.
Had this little piece of paper in his hand. I figured it was from a doctor, you know, prescribed medicine.
Yes, sir.
Wasn't.
Well, go ahead. What was it?
Note. Written on there like this. This is a stick-up. Don't make any noise.
It was a note, huh?
Just pushed the note across the counter. I didn't have to have anybody push me off a cliff to know what was going on.
No, sir.
I was being robbed.
Yes, sir. You want to go ahead?
Well, after he showed me the note, he kind of pushed me back into the little room at the rear of the store. You know, kind of store place.
Now, did he say anything to you at all?
Not a word, just pointed with that gun for me to get into the back room. I went.
I see. What happened then?
He pushed me down to the floor and then tied my hands and feet.
What do you use?
You mean to tie me up?
Yes, sir.
Rope.
Well, did he bring it into the store with him?
No, sir. He picked it up in household on his way back to the prescription counter.
I see. Go ahead, please.
As soon as we got to the storeroom, he took off the label and then undid the rope. He made a loop and put it around my feet. Next thing I knew, I was all trussed up like a rolled roast, ready for the oven.
Yes, sir.
I'll say one thing for the guy, though.
What's that?
He's very neat. He tied good knots.
Yes, sir.
Other officers, the ones in the black and white car, you know.
Yes, sir.
Them.
Yeah, what about him?
Oh, yeah. Well, they took the ropes with them. They said something about taking them to a laboratory.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can see if you want to. It's very neat.
Yes, sir. What happened after the bandit tied you up?
Robbed me.
You personally?
Yes, personally and otherwise.
Well, sir, would you please tell us?
Well, first off, he went to the safe and took the tin box out. Opened her right up and took the money.
Is that all he stole from the cash box?
Yeah. I had some government bonds in there, but he didn't take those.
Uh-huh.
Guess he knew they wouldn't do him any good.
All right, sir.
He didn't take them. Took the money, but didn't take the government bonds.
According to what you told the officers this morning, the thief took a supply of narcotics, too. Is that correct?
Yes, he got them from the safe, too.
Well, now, after he finished with the safe, what happened?
He left. He walked out of the place. He just ambled right out.
During the time he was in the store, he didn't say anything at all. Is that right?
Nope.
Did anybody else come in while he was here?
You mean like a customer?
Yes, sir.
No. Oh, excuse me.
That might be our office, Mr. Tishner. We left this number.
Okay. If it is, I'll tell you.
Thank you.
Tishner Drugs. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, Mrs. Kentworthy. Uh-huh. No, shouldn't be. Uh-huh. No, I can't do that. If you'll have your doctor call me, I'll make it up and send it over. Yeah. No, not without a prescription. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, I'll call you when it's ready then, and you can send Lanny over. Right. Bye, Mrs. Kentworthy. Huh? Oh, well, if that's the way you feel, I won't. Oh, sure. Okay. Goodbye. Gee, I can't imagine why she'd say a thing like that. Just no reason at all.
Sir?
Mrs. Kentworthy told me when her son comes over to get the prescription not to give him any candy.
Oh, I see.
I usually throw in a licorice whip, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want me to do it. It's too bad.
Yes, sir. Wonder if we could go ahead with the description.
Sure, I guess so.
Well, now, from what you told the investigating officers, the man's about 35 to 38. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Light in color, 5 feet 10, 175 pounds, no visible marks or scars. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess that's pretty close.
Well, if there's anything different, we'd appreciate you telling us now.
No, not with you. Because I can't understand why Mrs. Kentworthy would say a thing like that. Just a penny licorice whip. Little bitty thing.
Yes, sir, we understand.
Like that. Couldn't hurt anybody.
Yes, sir. Would you be able to identify the hold-up man if you saw him again?
Oh, yeah, no trouble. I'd know him.
Uh-huh.
He'd never say a thing like that.
Sir?
The fellow who robbed me.
What do you mean?
Oh, on the way out, the way I was laying, I saw him stop. Right up there by the Canyon magazine. Stopped dead in his tracks. He went over and helped himself.
Mm-hmm.
Took the top off and helped himself to a handful. Sure must like 'em.
What was that, sir?
Licorice whips. Just reached into the jar and took a handful.
After that, he left. Is that right?
Yeah. As soon as he put his gloves back on.
What was that?
Couldn't work the top of the jar with the gloves, so he took them off.
No.
Used his bare hands.
10:02 a.m. Frank put in a call to Harlan Stahl and Leighton Fingerprints. We asked him to come out and go over the glass candy jar. While we waited for him, Frank and I checked the list of stolen narcotics with the druggist, Harry Tishner. We also made arrangements for him to come downtown and look through the mug books. When the glass candy jar was checked, Harlan Stahl was able to come up with 2 partial prints. They were enough for comparison, but not for identification. 11:15 a.m. Frank and I left the store and spent the rest of the afternoon checking out the list of names we'd gotten from the stats office. Several of the possibles looked good, but after each one of them was investigated, we still didn't have a suspect in custody. Wednesday morning, March 17th, at 8:06 a.m., Frank and I met in the squad room.
Morning, Joe.
Hi.
Tried to call you this morning. Thought maybe you'd want to stop and have some breakfast.
No, I left the house early.
Uh-huh.
Did you check the book?
Yeah.
Anything?
Skipper wants to talk to us.
Oh, I figured that'd happen. Is he in now?
Yeah.
Well, come on, let's get it over with.
Come in. Yeah, that's right. No, not yet. I'm going to try and line it up this afternoon. Yeah, I'll call you back. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're here right now. Bye.
Do you want to see us, Captain?
Yeah, come in, sit down. Going in, I won't tell you who's on my back about this thing, and you don't give me any excuses, right?
Sure.
Where are you?
Still in front of the first store.
That's how long ago?
Yeah, it's been 5 weeks.
What do you know about him?
WMA, description, close.
Match on all the jobs?
Close enough so we know it's the same guy.
Okay, what else?
He uses a stolen car to get to the store. He drives it away. Isn't too careful to hide the license plate. We've been able to come up with 3 out of the 5.
Check the cars out?
Yeah, clean. Not a print on them. Nothing else.
Picked up something yesterday. Should help when we nail him.
What's that?
Well, Stahl lifted a couple of partials from a candy jar. Gonna be enough for comparison.
Can't make the suspect on him, huh?
No, it's not enough to classify.
What about the narcotics he's taking? You show up anyplace?
No, not that we can find. We've been down all the alleys. There's nothing there. We talked to Lucarelli. Hop Squad's got nothing on it.
If none of it's showing up, then it could mean he's using the stuff himself.
That's what we got figured.
How about the stats office?
We spend much more time down there. They're going to put us to work with the machines.
Informants?
Well, they've given us smiles. That's about all.
You think they're holding?
No.
Come over here. Take a look at the map. The way he's picking the places, he set up a pretty definite operating schedule. Here, Venice Boulevard, Kingsley Drive, Western, Adams, Washington, the rest of them. They're all grouped in this area.
Yeah.
You got to figure he's going to keep working the vicinity until he hits them all. Then maybe he'll move on to something else.
Might help if we could come up with a reason that he's working there.
Anything you can come up with has got to help.
Yeah, we know.
If it's true that he's been using the narcotics himself, it's just a matter of time before we hand this one over to homicide. He's going to walk into a store, somebody's going to give him trouble. If he's on the needle, he isn't going to take it.
Yeah.
So it adds up to a big stop. Fast.
Well, if we work the area, it's going to take a lot of men, you know.
We'll get him. I've talked to Stoner. He's taking care of all the help you need from here. There'll be 4 teams available. You can call Metro Division for whatever else you need.
All right, we'll set it up for tonight then.
Check with communications. Make sure you get the 3 ways working.
Right.
This guy's been pressing his luck for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm bound to run short on it sometime. Robbery, Donahoe. Yeah. When? Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll take care of him. Looks like you just got partners.
What do you mean?
Your boy just made it 13. Drugstore out on Pico.
Yeah.
They don't expect the victim to live.
Frank and I left the office and drove over to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital. We talked with the officer on duty. He told us that the victim's name was George Rayler. He owned a small neighborhood drugstore at the corner of Pico Boulevard and Vineyard Avenue. He went on to say that he didn't have all of the particulars of the beating, but that it had occurred during the commission of a robbery. We talked to Dr. Sebastian. He told us that the elderly man was suffering from a fractured skull, broken ribs, and possible internal injuries. He added that from Rayler's appearance, it looked as if he'd been beaten about the head and shoulders with a heavy instrument and then kicked in the chest. We left word to call as soon as he could be questioned, then we drove over to the store on Pico.
Yes, there's something I can do for you?
Police officers.
Oh, how's Mr. Rayler? You seen him?
No, we haven't yet,
You heard anything? Is he gonna be all right?
but we don't know that yet.
I sure hope so. Yeah, the guy who hit him sure did a job. Just beat him something awful.
Yeah, we know.
Not enough just hitting him, but then he knocked him down and stomped him. Awful.
You here when it happened?
Yeah, I saw the whole thing.
You want to tell us what happened?
You mean for the investigation?
That's right.
Okay.
You want to give us your name first?
Calvin Webster.
You work here in the store, do you, son?
Yeah, that's right. Sort of a general left hand.
What was that?
Well, you see, Mrs. Rayler's his right hand. I'm the left.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She wasn't here today, down having her hair fixed. Probably just as good.
All right, Webster. You want to tell us?
Well, fella came in about 8:30, right after we opened. He came in and went back to the prescription counter. I was going back to tell him that Mr. Rayler would be right out, and then he was.
Rayler?
Yeah, he was back checking the stock on vitamin pills. We do a big business in them. I have to have a pretty careful watch on the supply. Wouldn't want to get caught short.
All right, go ahead.
Well, the fella, the holdup man, you know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, he took this little piece of paper out of his coat. I figured it was a prescription. Looked like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't. It turned out to be the note where he said he wanted the money.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the note?
Well, not so as I can read it. First, I knew there was something wrong when Mr. Railer started to yell at the guy. Told him to get out of the store, ran around the counter and tried to grab him.
Mm-hmm.
Yelling all the time for me to call the police. Call the cops like that, he yelled at me.
What'd you do?
I looked to see if I had a dime.
What?
Well, you see, in the past, Mr. Railer's had trouble with people making phone calls on a private phone, so he had one of those little lock things put on it. You can answer incoming calls, but you can't phone out.
I see.
So I needed a dime to call the cops.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have one. Only 75 cents for my lunch, a half and a quarter.
I see.
Well, all this time, Mr. Railer's yelling. He's yelling, and the robber's hitting him, and I didn't know what to do.
Uh-huh.
I thought about running back and trying to help, but Mr. Railer don't like for nobody to do something different than what he says.
Yeah.
He told me to phone.
Yeah, sure.
Well, then all of a sudden, bang, the fella hit Mr. Railer with a gun. Took it right out of his pocket and hit him on the head. Next thing, Mr. Railer's on the floor, and this fella's stomping him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I couldn't just stand by no more, so I went back to help. Too late.
What was that?
It was too late. Mr. Railer was on the floor, and this guy was pointing the gun at me and was leaving the store. I didn't see how it'd help any to try and stop him.
Mm-hmm. Was there anybody else in the store at the time?
No, just Mr. Railer and me. We just opened up. Still kind of getting ready for the day.
Did you get a good look at this guy?
Oh, yeah. I saw him good.
All right, then you'll be able to give us a description.
Yeah, I'll tell you how he looked.
Did you see if he drove a car?
I guess so.
But don't you know for sure?
Well, no, I didn't go out after him. I figured that it'd take somebody a lot bigger than me to stop him. Besides, I had to take care of Mr. Railer.
I see. Did you see the gun he was using?
Yeah, I got a real good look at it when he was hitting the boss.
That's fine. What kind of a gun was it?
A pistol, you know, like you see in the movies.
Now, look, son, was it a revolver or an automatic?
I think it was a revolver. It had a barrel on it. Short, about that long.
Uh-huh.
We'd like you to come downtown and look at some pictures, if you would.
At the city hall?
That's right.
I'll be glad to help out as soon as Mrs. Railer comes back. I'll go with you.
All right, fine.
I can't leave the store alone, you know.
Uh-huh. You want to give us the description of the man now?
You bet. Sure hope you catch the fella.
So do we.
This the same guy I've been reading about in the papers?
That's right.
He's mean. Real mean, doing a thing like that to Mr. Railer.
Yeah, we know.
Been getting away with it for a long time, hasn't he? Just like a guy running up a big bill.
That's right, and he'll pay it. As soon as someone arrived to take care of the drugstore, we took Calvin Webster down to the city hall. He was shown all of the mug books and pictures of recent parolees. He was unable to make an identification. We had him returned to his home, and then Frank and I checked with Dr. Sebastian over at Georgia Street Receiving Hospital. He told us that the latest victim had been transferred to the county hospital and was out of the critical stage. He went on to say, however, that it would be several hours before we'd be able to talk to him. We checked with Captain Donahoe and Lieutenant Stoner. We also contacted officers from Metropolitan Division and made arrangements for the additional cars that we'd need in setting up the rolling stakeout. That night at 7:30 p.m., the plan was put into operation. 10 undercover cars maintained a watch on the drugstores in the area. All suspicious vehicles were checked on. All pedestrians loitering in the vicinity were interrogated. Our suspect remained free. 3 days went by without result. The bandit had stopped his operations. On Sunday, March 21st, Frank and I were driving up Western Avenue just north of Pico.
What do you think?
I don't know. Maybe after he had that trouble with Railer, he decided to call it quits.
Doesn't figure.
Huh?
Guy that's had the breaks he has not going to let something like a beating stop him.
Well, hope you're right.
All units on frequency 1, stand by. All units on frequency 1, stand by.
It might be a good one.
Yeah.
Stand by 1J14. All units in the vicinity of 1947 Wilton Place. 1947 Wilton Place. An officer needs help, code 3. All units in the vicinity of 1947 Wilton Place. An officer needs help, code 3.
You got the lens?
Yeah, here you are.
You think it might be our boy?
We'll know in a minute. An officer needs help. Of all the calls in the book, this is the one that no officer wants to get. Not because of an outdone sense of loyalty to a fellow police officer, but because it means that somebody has decided that lawful authority has no meaning for them. Such a person is an extreme menace to every citizen in the city. By showing that they have no respect for the competence of an armed professional officer, they have also shown that they will not consider for an instant the life of an unarmed citizen. By the time we arrived at the scene, there were 14 police units in attendance. From one of the officers, we got the story.
Unit was working the street, saw this young guy run out of the liquor store, stopped to see what was going on.
Yeah?
Told the fellow to stop. Didn't make any difference.
Kept going, huh?
Yeah. Officer in the car told him to stop or he'd shoot, and the suspect turned around and fired at the policeman.
How is he?
Flesh wound.
What about the suspect?
Well, he didn't get the chance to fire more than twice.
That him over there?
Yeah.
Anything from the owner of the liquor store?
Well, just that the suspect tried to hold him up. He walked in, showed him a note. The owner went along with it, handed over the money, and then the suspect left. That's it.
Better take a look.
Yeah.
Well, it might be a break.
It's a hard way to get it, isn't
Yeah.
it? I'll take a look.
How about it?
I can't tell for sure.
Huh?
Description doesn't match too good.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's our suspect.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
The wounded police officer was taken to George Street Receiving Hospital for treatment. The suspect was removed to the county morgue. Pictures were taken, and when they were shown to the victims of the drugstore bandit, they all said he was not the man we were after. The rolling stakeout continued without result. During the next week, we answered several 211 calls in drugstores, but the MO the thief used eliminated him as our suspect. Thursday, March 25th, Frank and I checked into the squad room.
How's it going, Joe?
Kind of tired.
Yeah. We'll get this one wrapped up, and I'm going to try to take a few days off.
I get it. Robbery Friday. Yes, that's right. No, we're handling. But when was that? All right, would you like to give me that address? All right, yes, I have it. We'll check it out. Might be something yet. Thanks for letting us know. Right. What was that? No, if it turns out, we'll let you know. Right. Thanks again. Bye.
What do you got?
Call from a radio unit out in Hollywood.
Yeah.
They answered at 4:15 this morning. The woman and her husband were having a brawl.
Uh-huh.
The man had left when the officers got there. The woman refused to make a complaint.
She placed the original call?
No, it came from one of the neighbors.
Uh-huh.
When the officers were leaving, the woman said she'd handle the beef herself, said she'd take care of her husband, called him a lousy hold-up man.
Yeah.
She made the statement she could put him in San Quentin inside of 5 minutes.
Well, if he's the guy we're looking for, I don't think we can do it that fast.
No, we can sure try. We left the office and drove out to the address I'd gotten on the phone. It was a small one-story house set well back on the lot. When we got there, the lights were on. Frank and I went up the front door and rang the bell.
Yeah,
Miss Kearney,
that's right.
police officers like to talk to you.
What about?
Might be better if we talked inside.
All right.
It's my partner, Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
I do.
Hi.
You alone here in the house?
Just the baby and me.
I see. Where's your husband?
Look, before I start telling you a lot, why don't you let me know what this is all about?
We got a report from a radio car that there was a disturbance here this morning. Is that right?
Wasn't anything. Me and Keith had a beef. Not even worth calling the cops about.
The officer said you made the remark that your husband was a hold-up man, that you could send him to prison. Is that right?
They talk a lot, don't they?
They listen more, lady.
You want to tell us what you meant?
Yeah?
Well, go ahead.
You go back and tell the little boys in the play suits they're wrong on this one.
Is that so?
Yeah, because I meant nothing. Nothing at all.
Pretty serious thing to say without a reason, though, isn't
This
it?
morning I had a reason.
What, you want to tell us what it was?
I don't see why not. You cops start nosing around, you'll find out anyway. I got trouble with my old man.
What kind of trouble?
He's out with other women. Didn't come home last night. We had a beef about it. The cops were called and they used their big ears. You guys made the trip out here for nothing. Now beat it. Now look what you've done. He's playing fine, and you come in here and raise a big stink. You got him all upset.
I'll get it. Hey, here you are, fella. Hey, no reason to cry.
What's your husband's full name?
Keith J. Kearney.
How long you lived in Los Angeles?
A little over 6 weeks.
Where you from?
Idaho.
Your husband ever been in trouble with the police before?
Keith's got a hard time not being in trouble with anybody.
Has he ever been arrested?
I don't know.
How long you been married?
7 years.
And you don't know if he's ever been arrested?
No, I don't.
You got a picture of your husband?
You mean that you can have?
We'd like to take a look at it, yeah.
Oh, out of luck. I haven't got one.
Does he work?
Not if he can help it.
Doesn't hold a job of any kind, huh?
No, Keith's a professional avoider. He doesn't like anything steady. Beginning to look like he means me, too.
What's he do with his time?
Nothing. Just lives it.
Is he here in the evening?
If he was, there wouldn't have been the beef this morning, and you wouldn't be asking a lot of questions. I don't know what you're trying to get me to say, but I can't go along with you. If you got a problem with Keith, then talk to him. Leave me out of it.
I'll get it.
You know where your husband is now?
No.
You don't have any idea,
Not
huh?
the least.
There you are, little fella. Here's your keys.
Your husband drive a car?
Yeah.
What kind is it?
41 Plymouth.
When do you expect your husband back?
When he walks in the door.
All right, Miss Kearney, I think that'll do it. Sorry if we've caused you any trouble.
You have and you're not.
All right, let's go, Frank. Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Better check on the husband, huh?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Get a good look at those keys that the baby was playing with.
No, why?
Plastic tag on them had a license number.
Yeah.
One of the stolen cars used in a drugstore holdup. Frank and I went back to the car and drove around the block, parking up the street from the Kearney residence. We called the name of the man and his wife into R&I, but there was no record on either one of them. Because of the remark made by his wife and the finding of the car keys, it was decided to stake out on the house and wait for the husband to return. 7:30 p.m., 8:30, 9 p.m. The lights in the house went out, but there was still no sign of Keith Kearney. 10:30. We called the office and told them we'd wait it out. 10:45 p.m.
Joe,
Yeah,
you see what kind it is?
looks like a Plymouth. No.
Checks out, huh?
Yeah, let's take him. All right, Kearney, hold it up. Watch it, Joe. Give it up, Kearney.
Keep away from me, Cap.
He's trying to make his house.
Yeah. Kearney, you're not going to make the front porch. Don't give your family any more trouble than they got. Now throw down that gun. All right, let's give it back to him.
He's down, Joe.
Come on. Kearney. Kearney.
Careful.
Come on, Kearney, throw that gun away. You hear me?
Looks like he's hurt bad.
Yeah, all right, hold it.
Yeah. How about it?
He'll live. Call an ambulance.
Right.
You killed him? Did you kill him?
No, ma'am.
He's dead. You killed him.
He'll be all right.
Don't lie to me. Poor Keith, you didn't give him a chance. Not fair. He didn't even have a
You
chance.
saw it all, lady.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a fair fight.
Never is when you pull a gun.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On August 17th, trial was held in Department 97, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial. Keith Jarris Kearney was tried and convicted on 9 counts of robbery in the first degree and received sentence as prescribed by law. Robbery in the first degree is punishable by imprisonment for a period of not less than 5 years. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
That's Dragnet. Hope you enjoyed that. Broadcast from May 25th, 1950. The Big Key, Jack Webb starring, as heard on NBC, sponsored by Fatima Cigarettes.
We're not using any of those.
No. We're tobacco-free over here.
But actually, we're having a lot of fun because we're reading all of your comments, and we so appreciate hearing from you and knowing a little bit about where you're from and your thoughts and what you'd like to hear and what you want from us.
Yeah.
And the key here is we say, ask us anything. So if you would like to do that, I'm open to that, within reason, and we'll have a little bit of fun together on our computer.
So this is Do You Remember? It's a live stream. Lisa Wolf, I'm Carl Amari. We're here every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central Time for about 2.5 hours, bringing you 4 classic radio shows in perfect sound. That's what we're all about. We're all about sound quality. We license these shows from the owners and estates, and we get the master recordings, so you're going to hear the best sound quality anywhere of these classic radio shows. And Mike Costella, our executive producer and engineer, takes the original 16-inch transcription discs and digitally remasters them so you get this kind of quality. And we have tons more classic radio if you want to join our club, the Classic Radio Club. And that's what this is right here. You can get 10 shows sent to you each and every month on 5 CDs or via digital download, and a booklet, right, Lisa, that has all of the liner notes and photos of the stars. So go to classicradioclub.com. You can experience it for the first month for only $1.
Am I the Vanna White of Classic Radio Club?
Yeah, you turning.
I'm kind
Are
of
you
turning the
turning
pages. I'm not walking, but I'm turning the pages. But this is a great club. Check it out, classicradioclub.com. You obviously love classic radio if you're here with us. If you'd like a little bit more, check out our Classic Radio Club.
That's right. Well, in just a moment, we're going to tune in to an episode of Jack Benny. You talk about one of the greatest stars of the golden age of radio and television and movies, too,
right?
Jack Benny. And he, of course, had his whole cast around him. You had Rochester, you had Mary Livingston, you had Dennis Day, Phil Harris. He was on radio and TV a long, long time. I have my notes right here.
Yeah, but you don't need them.
Well, I do have to look at my notes for the broadcast date of this Lucky Strike program. You know, back in the golden age of radio, even early television, a lot of times the sponsor took the name of the show. Even though it was Jack Benny, Lucky Strike was the sponsor of Jack Benny, so they called the show the Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny. This is a March 27th, 1955 broadcast, and you're going to love it, Jack and all his gang. But continue to email us.
Right. I'm texting. I'm watching. I love to hear from you. Let me know where you're from and what you'd like to hear and whatever else you'd like to let us know. We're open.
And after this Jack Benny program, we are going to do show and tell. I'm going to show you,
like
Lisa.
We used to do in high school.
Grammar school. Okay, you got me on that one. I'm going to bring something out from 1975. And I had this as a 12-year-old in 1975. You may have even had one of these. I don't know. Possibly.
I'll let you know. And if you can guess that, what you think that this item is going to be on our YouTube reply channel.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Let us know. We'll give you some bragging rights and mention you.
Bragging rights. Yeah, bragging rights are good. All right, let's go back to March 27th, 1955. Here's the Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny.
The Jack Benny program, transcribed and presented by Lucky Strike, the cigarette that tastes better.
Light up a lucky.
It's light up time.
Be happy, go lucky.
It's light up time for the taste that you like. Light up a Lucky Strike.
Relax. It's light up time.
This is Don Wilson, friends. You know, any time at all that you want real smoking enjoyment is the time to light up a Lucky. Because a Lucky tastes better every time. And the reasons why are world famous. First of all, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Fine, light, naturally good-tasting tobacco. And then that tobacco is toasted. It's toasted is the famous Lucky Strike process that brings Lucky's naturally good-tasting tobacco to its peak of flavor. Tones it up to make it taste even better, cleaner, fresher, smoother. So right now, or any time it's light-up time for you, be happy, go lucky. Enjoy Lucky Strike, the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked.
For the taste that you like, light up a Lucky Strike.
Right now.
Light up a Lucky.
It's
Light up time.
The Lucky Strike program, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Rochester, Dennis Day, Bob Crosby, the Sportsman Quartet, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, many times in the past I've opened this program by taking you out to Jack Benny's house in Beverly Hills. But tonight, just for a change, let's all go out to Mr. and Mrs. Bob Crosby's house on the edge of Beverly Hills.
Many times I have wanted your kiss. Many times.
Oh, Bob.
Yes, June?
You've been in the den here for an hour. What are you doing?
Well, just rehearsing some songs, dear. I'm thinking of making another personal appearance.
Personal appearance? Where?
Las Vegas.
Oh, Bob, I wish you wouldn't. You remember what happened last time we were up there. You gambled every night and lost quite heavily.
Oh, I know.
Well, don't do it again. I miss the baby. But really, Bob, I'm serious. I wish you wouldn't play another personal appearance.
Well, why not, dear?
Well, you're so busy. You're on Mr. Benny's show every week. You play benefits. You make records. And you have your own TV show 5 days a week. You're never home anymore.
Oh, June, you're exaggerating.
Oh, Mother.
Yes, dear?
Can I go to the park and play ball?
Certainly.
Okay, I'll be back in time for dinner. Say, Mom.
Yes, dear?
Who's this guy, the plumber?
He's your father.
Well, certainly I'm your father. Don't you recognize me, Chris?
I'm Steve.
You run along, Steve, and be home in time for dinner.
I will. Goodbye, Mother. Goodbye, Dad.
Goodbye. Now she's grown. Honey, I could have sworn he was Chris. Gosh, June, I've been thinking about what you said, though, and I think I'm going to forget about personal appearances and spend more time at home.
Oh, Bob, I wish you would.
I will, and not only that, I think, why don't we have a dinner party here at home like we used to?
Oh, that would be wonderful. How about next Saturday night?
That's fine. I'll invite all the boys in my band and their wives, and you know what, June? I think we ought to invite Jack Benny, too.
You do?
Why, certainly.
Oh, but Bob, he's such an important man, and he's so busy. You can't call and invite him to dinner on such short notice.
Well, I'm going to try anyway.
Bob, I think you're making a big mistake.
Now, don't you worry, June. I've got an idea. Look, we'll change the date of our dinner to fit Jack's convenience.
Hello?
Hello, Jack. This is Bob Crosby.
Oh, hello, Bob.
Say, Jack, June and I would like to invite you to our house for dinner, and, well, when would it be possible for you to come?
Oh, 7 o'clock, 7:15. 7:30. In fact, I can be over right now.
Well, we weren't thinking of tonight. We were thinking of some night this week. Which would be the most convenient?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
Well, you skipped Thursday.
Oh, I babysit that night.
Oh.
I used to do it for you, but you lost your kid in Las Vegas.
I know. But, Jack, how about coming over for dinner Saturday night?
Oh, fine, Bob. Fine. Say, and after dinner, we can have some fun, play gin or Scrabble.
Oh, no, thank you, Jack. I'll never play Scrabble with you again after last Sunday's game. You're too tricky for me. I don't know how in the world you do it.
Do what?
Well, there are only 2 Y's in the game, and yet you made the word money 11 times.
Well, all right. We'll play something else. So long. See you Saturday.
So long, Jack.
Goodbye, Bob. Gee, it was nice of Bob to invite me over to his house for dinner. He's always doing things like that. Having people over for dinner, taking them out to nightclubs, having parties. He's so generous. He ought to see a psychiatrist. Well, when Rochester comes home for shopping, I better tell him I won't be home for dinner Saturday night. Gee, he's been at that market a long time. Coming. Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Come on in.
Thanks.
I wasn't expecting you today, Dennis. Anything wrong?
No, I just wanted to ask you a favor. Could you lend me $10?
$10? Yes, I guess so. What do you want it for?
I want to get myself tattooed.
Tattooed? Why?
Well, I was in the Navy during the war, and yet nobody will believe I was a sailor.
Well, what are you going to have tattooed on you?
My uniform.
Well, that's about the... Look, kid, if you want something tattooed on you to show that you were in the Navy, why don't you have a life preserver or an anchor? Or wait a minute, how about the battleship Missouri?
No, my mother has that.
Your mother has a battleship tattooed on her?
When she wears the corset, it looks like it's sinking.
Hey, say, wait a minute, kid. I've got a good idea. Why don't you do what I did when I was in the Navy? Have the American flag put on your arm.
Gee, I didn't know you had the American flag on you.
Yeah, I had it done the first day I joined the Navy. Wait, I'll roll up my sleeve and show it to you. See?
Gee, only 13 stars.
Yes, Dennis, only 13 stars, but not for the reason you think. I made the man stop because he was hurting me.
Then why did he put them in a circle?
Dennis, I don't want to get into any more discussions with you. Now, I'll make you a proposition.
Yeah, what?
If I lend you the $10, will you let me hear the song you're going to do on next Sunday's program and leave immediately?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here's the $10. Let's hear it.
What a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being in love. There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. Why, it's almost like being in love. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I would swear I was falling. I could swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I would swear I was falling. I could swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love.
That was Dennis Day singing Almost Like Being in Love, and should sound swell on the program.
Oh,
now
thanks.
go get yourself tattooed.
Okay, Mr. Benny. You know what I think I'll do? I'll have them
Dennis,
tattoo...
look, you promised me if I lent you the $10, you wouldn't say anything. You just go.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then go.
All right, goodbye.
Bye. You know what? Dennis gets sillier and sillier every day. I don't know how I've stood him all these years. But it's my own fault. I should have known when I first saw him there was something wrong with him. What other man wears a size 3 hat? I don't know, sometimes I think...
Mr. Benny, I'm back from the market.
Good.
I'm in the kitchen putting the things away.
I'll come in and help you. Hey, what took you so long, Rochester?
Well, I had a lot of things to do. You know, I took all the hamburger out of the freezer, sold it, and bought 36 quarts of milk.
Why'd you do that?
Beef went up, milk went down. I'm playing the market.
Say, Rochester, what's this?
A head of lettuce.
How can this be lettuce? It's pure white.
The fad is over. They're taking chlorophyll out of everything.
Oh.
By the way, Mr. Benny, are you going out tonight?
No, I think I'll stay home and practice my violin.
Your violin? Oh, boss, calm now.
All right. I'll wait till you get out of the house. Meanwhile, I'm going in the den and read for a while.
Okay.
Gee, I haven't read a book in a long time. Let's see what's here. Gee, here's a book I haven't read. 100 Famous Poems. Gee, I haven't read poetry in a long time. I think I'll read this. Let's see. Gee, they have some wonderful poems in this book. Charge of the Light Brigade, Hiawatha, The wreck of the Hesperus? Gunga Din? There was an old lady from... Whoops, somebody penciled that in. Oh, here's one of my favorite poems. I haven't read it in years. The Shooting of Dan McGrew. I think I'll read that. The Shooting of Dan McGrew by Robert W. Service.
A bunch of the boys were whooping it up in the Malamute Saloon. The kid that handles the music box was hitting a jag-time tune.
Hey, bartender. Bartender. Bartender.
Yeah?
I want a drink of whiskey.
Okay, how much whiskey do you want?
About 3 fingers.
Here you are.
Ah, give me another drink.
How much this time?
Oh, about 4 fingers.
Okay. There you are. 4 fingers of whiskey. Ah. You know, mister, you're the first man I ever saw drink out of a glove.
I always do. I'm the only man in Alaska that got a hangnail with a hangover. Doggone, I've been trapped in this saloon for 8 days by that darn blizzard. How much longer do you think it'll last?
I don't know.
Well, I'm going to take a look outside and see how the weather is.
How is it outside?
Cloudy. Look, bartender, being stuck in a place like this for 8 days can drive a guy nuts. I gotta have a little excitement. Tell you what, I'll bet you $5 I can shoot those 3 glasses off the top shelf in 3 shots.
$5 says you can't.
It's a bet. Stand back, everybody. There's 1. There's 2.
You lost.
No, I didn't.
I've got $20 more that says you did.
It's a bet. That slow bullet has made me a fortune. Anybody else want to bet? Hey, you at the piano. Don't you know any other music?
No, he's ignorant. But those 4 fur trappers in the corner...
You must have had 5 fingers yourself.
I say those 4 fur trappers in the corner, they can sing some songs.
Well, let's hear some.
Okay, take it, fellas.
Alouette, jante, alouette, alouette, jante plumerie. Alouette, light a cigarette, mon qui strike, je sais que bon gelé.
Jette de plumerie la tête, light a lucky alouette.
Jette de plumerie la tête, light a lucky alouette.
Alouette,
Alouette,
cigarette,
cigarette. Alouette, puff a cigarette, made of fine tobacco, ooh la la. Alouette, gentle alouette, wrote a letter to her dear papa.
Here is what the letter say. Send more luckies right away.
Son of a gun, but Eskimos, they smoke Luckies too, you know.
Eskimo.
Eskimo.
Smoke, you know.
Smoke, you know.
Alouette.
Alouette.
Cigarette.
Cigarette.
They all like.
They all like.
Lucky strike.
Lucky strike. Alouette, puff a cigarette. She is just as happy as can be. We are Luckies made of fine tobacco. LSMF, LSMF.
MFT.
Living mid the ice and snow, we're so very glad to know.
She's as happy as can be. We said LSMFT.
MFT.
MFT.
We agree.
We agree.
Eskimo.
Eskimo.
Smoke you know.
Smoke you know.
Alouette.
Alouette.
Cigarette.
Cigarette.
Zeolite.
Zeolite.
Lucky Strike.
Lucky Strike. Alouette, puff a cigarette. Through the long and lonesome Arctic nights. In the north, so many light of Luckies. That's what makes the Northern Lights.
Well, how'd you like the song?
That was Say Good.
Hey, look, mister, the blizzard is letting up.
Yeah, well, I think I'll get going. Where's my partner? Hey, Wilson. Wilson.
Here I am.
Come on, we're going up north to find gold. Gold, do you hear me? Gold.
Just a minute, partner. Don't risk your life out there in these icy wastes looking for gold. What is gold? Can't eat it? Can you drink it? Gold's only money. The money will only bring you unhappiness, misery, and sorrow.
Would you mind repeating that?
Money will only bring you unhappiness, misery, and sorrow.
This boy is not only fat, but he's stupid. Now, come on, let's get the dogs ready and the sled. We're going.
Ever out in the great alone when the moon was awful clear and the icy mountains hemmed you in with a silence you could hear, with only the howl of a timber wolf, and you camped there in the cold, a half-dead thing in a stark dead world, clean mad for the muck called gold.
We're going mighty slow, Wilson, and it's all your fault. I took you on as a partner because I was a greenhorn. You told me you knew everything about the Yukon. You told me you knew how to handle these dog teams and sled.
Of course I do. What makes you think I don't?
Well, I have a feeling the dogs should be pulling the sleds and we should be riding. I'm sure of it. And that cocker spaniel with the whip is murder. That dog yells mush at me once more, there's going to be trouble.
Gee, I can't stand this no more. 3 weeks we've been traveling through these frozen wastes. I
Hey,
wish
look,
I...
wait a minute. Comes a man. An Eskimo.
Oh, yeah. I'll go and talk to him.
Won't do any good. These Eskimos don't talk in English.
I know, but I talk Eskimo. I'll say hello to him. Hey, compare.
That's Eskimo?
Look, he's coming toward us, and he's carrying food.
Yeah, maybe he'll give us some blubber. I mean, maybe he'll give us some blubber. Hey, he wants to talk to us.
Oogie oogie, wah wah, magahoo, magahi.
What'd he say? What'd he say?
He says his name, he's a mighty hunter, and he's chief of an Eskimo tribe.
Oh. Ask him if he'll be our guide and lead us to the goal.
Mugla, Mugliuka, Takara, Igloo. Marabu, Igloob, Nagikuch, Tiga.
Three of my riders must come from Bismo Beach or something.
Nuggy nuggy talking.
He says he can't be our guide. He's got something else to do.
Ask him what?
Oogie Tula Nagarari?
Takalugi mugi papoose nunga wawa.
What'd he say?
He's got to go to Las Vegas and pick up his kid.
Well, let's go on by ourselves. Goodbye, Eskimo.
Goodbye, and don't forget dinner Saturday night.
Ow! Come on, let's go.
Mush!
I'm pulling it! I'm pulling it!
Look at the side of that mountain. We found it, a vein of pure gold. Do you hear me, Wilson? Look at it. Pure gold. Oh, boy, am I unhappy, miserable, and sorry. Come on, Wilson. Let's dig that gold and go back to the saloon.
Back of the bar in a solo game sat dangerous Dan McGrew. Now, watching his luck was his light of love, the lady that's known as Lou. But out of the night, which was 50 below, and into the din and glare, there stumbled a miner fresh from the creeks, dog dirty and loaded for bear.
Okay, bartender. I struck it rich. Set up drinks for everybody.
Does that include me, handsome?
Sure does, Lou. I came right back here after finding the gold just to see you.
Well, the minute I heard you was coming, I hurried home and got into this new dress.
You must have been in a hurry. You didn't get all the way into it. But, Lou, I got presents for you now that I'm rich. I got diamonds and ermine fur, jewels, and a yacht for you.
Oh, darling. Come here, honey. Kiss me.
Well, after that kiss, I won't need my dogs or my sled anymore.
Why not?
There ain't no more snow between here and the North Pole. Give me another kiss, Lou.
Sure, honey. Oh, wait a minute. Be careful. Here comes Dangerous Dan McGrew.
Lou, come here a minute.
Yes, Dan?
Didn't I see you kissing this stranger a minute ago?
Yes, you did. Hey, he sounds dangerous. What about it?
You know what I do to guys I catch kissing my gal?
What?
I cut off their heads and hang them up by their hair.
Oh.
I'll have to think of something different for you.
Oh, I ain't scared. Now, listen to me, Dan McGrew. Lou is my gal, and I'm taking her with me.
Oh, no, you're not. Draw your gun.
Don't fight, boys, please.
Get out of the way, Lou. I'm ready, Dan.
Then I reached for my rod, and the lights went out, and two guns blazed in the dark. Then a woman screamed, and the lights went up, and two men lay stiff and stark.
Bye, Steph.
So long, Stark.
Etched on his head and pumped full of lead was Dangerous Dan McGrew, while a man from the creeks lay clutched in the arms of the lady that's known as Lou.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, through carelessness, a fire could start. A fire that could claim your life and the lives of your children. Don't let it happen. Be on guard constantly against fire. Make sure every match, every cigarette is put out. Always check the ashtrays before leaving the house or retiring for the night. Observe all fire regulations. Remember, only you can prevent fires. Thank you.
Jack will be back in just a minute, but right now, here's a suggestion for you.
Light up a lucky. It's light up time. Be happy, go lucky. It's light up time for the taste that you like. Light up a Lucky Strike. Relax. It's light up time.
That's a grand idea, friends. Just lean back and light up a Lucky. Because every Lucky you light is sure to give you better taste. And here's why. First, Luckies are made of fine tobacco. LSMFT, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Light, mild, naturally good-tasting tobacco. And then that tobacco is toasted. It's toasted is the famous Lucky Strike process that tones up Lucky's naturally good-tasting tobacco, bringing it to its peak of flavor so that it tastes even better, cleaner, fresher, smoother. So, friends, anytime it's light up time, be happy. Go Lucky. Make your cigarette better tasting Lucky Strike.
For the taste that you like, light up a Lucky Strike.
Right now,
Light up a Lucky.
it's light up time.
We're a little late, so good night, folks.
The Jack Benny program is written by Sam Perrin, Milt Josephsberg, George Balzer, John Tackerberry, Al Gordon, Hal Goldman, and produced and transcribed by Hilliard Marks.
Filter smokers, here's the true tobacco taste you've been looking for. Filter Tip Tarleton gives you all the full, rich flavor of Tarleton's famous quality tobacco, and real filtration, too. Filter Tip Tarleton incorporates activated charcoal, renowned for its unusual powers of selective filtration and used far and wide to purify the air we breathe, the water and beverages we drink. Look for the red, white, and blue stripes on the package. They identify Filter Tip Tarleton, the best in filtered smoking.
The Jack Benny program is brought to you by the American Tobacco Company, America's leading manufacturer of cigarettes.
That's the Jack Benny program, broadcast from March 27th, 1955. Jack Benny and all his gang. It was sponsored by Lucky Strike. And I hope you enjoyed that. Heard on CBS Radio originally, going back to 1955. Boy, I tell you, this is what we do here. This is called Do You Remember? And we play your favorite classic radio shows, talk about nostalgia. And if you want to learn about our radio show, we host a national radio show called Hollywood 360, and you can go to our official website anytime you want, Hollywood360radio.com. That's Hollywood360radio.com.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he doesn't need a co-host, but other than that...
I need a co-host. Are you kidding?
No, but we're so happy to have this, not only the radio show, but now this live stream. And we're excited to be able to communicate with you during the show and get some of your suggestions for shows that you'd like to hear in the future, because that's exactly what we're going to do. But right now, we're going back to our high school years to do show and tell.
High school. You know, I was looking at some of the people, what they were commenting on. A lot of people said they wanted to hear Have Gun Will Travel.
Right.
And we have a Have Gun Will Travel. We have Gun Will Travel.
That's because we have a little mental telepathy. We knew you were going to say that, so we decided to start off the night right.
Yeah, we have a Have Gun Will Travel coming up in just a few minutes, and I'll tell you all about the radio versus the TV version of that. But right now, it's show and tell. I remember I used to love show and tell when I was a little tyke. I'm still little, but but I'm not a tyke anymore. Well, Lisa, I had one of these. This is not a doll. This is an action figure.
Gotcha.
Okay. This is Steve Austin, the $6 million man, and he was the Bionic Man.
I remember.
This was, this was a huge toy. It was like made so much money for a Kenner. Came out in 1975, and I remember having one, and it had a lot of working parts. It had an eyeball, telescopic lens. You can look through that lens. And then if you turned his head to the right, it's like that. Then you went like this with his hand. There we go. Go like that. And his bionic arm would lift. This thing was so strong it would lift up to 2 pounds.
So what would you put in there?
No, whatever. Lift the book up, whatever. Then you go like this.
Have books.
You go like this. But anyway, There he is.
And
Steve Austin.
we also had a listener, Larry, who guessed it. Bragging rights to Larry.
Way to go. What do you think this retailed for in 1975? What do you think this cost? At like Toys R Us.
Toys R Us, Bionic Man, $9.99.
$7.99.
Yeah, it's close.
$7.99.
The
it really looks like
the good old days.
Lee Majors, doesn't it? I mean, it's a really good likeness.
Yeah, it looks good.
All right.
Enjoy your doll.
So it's an action figure.
I know.
Next week I will have something else.
Or I will.
Yeah.
See.
One of us will have something.
Yeah. See.
But right now it's time for Have Gun Will Travel. Have Gun Will Travel actually started as a television show on CBS TV. Richard Boone, of course, played Paladin, Soldier of Fortune. You could hire Paladin to do the dirty work other people wouldn't do. You know, back in the Old West, if somebody stole your gold or stole your
doll,
your Lee Majors doll, or kidnapped your kid, you could hire Paladin, right? You could hire Paladin. So it was a very popular TV show, super, super popular on TV. So CBS executives said, hey, let's put it on radio too. But Richard Boone was not available to do the radio show. He was too busy filming. So they hired John Daner, who was a really great supporting actor. He then did a lot of television and movies after doing Have Gun Will Travel. So we have a radio version of Have Gun Will Travel for you now called The Wager, July 26, 1959. Here's Have Gun Will Travel.
You forced me to wager my life against $1,000. Now you can wager yours against 30 miles of desert with a companion who hates you and half a canteen of water.
Have Gun Will Travel. Starring Mr. John Daner as Paladin. San Francisco, 1875. The Carlton Hotel, headquarters of the man called Paladin.
Oh, Mr. Paladin, this gentleman, Mr. Morgan, look for you.
Mr. Morgan, how are you?
Hello there. I was looking for you in the lobby, and I asked the boy here where I might find you.
Oh, I tell you, Mr. Paladin often take a place of concealment behind potted palm with a chessboard.
Yes, I hope I'm not interrupting.
No, not at all. You bring 2 brandies, please. Hey, boy.
Oh, yes, sir.
Sit down, Mr. Morgan.
Thank you.
So, what can I do for you?
Well, I'm leaving for Silver City early tomorrow morning with my fiancée. You could see to it that I get there alive.
Well...
there's no need to go into all the details of the background, but the situation basically is that my railroad holdings are considerable. A man named Danbury and his syndicate are determined to buy me out, and I don't want to sell.
It seems to me that's your privilege.
Yes, but Danbury's the kind of man who gets what he wants, one way or another. There have been attempts on my life recently.
Mr. Danbury has peculiar business methods.
I have narrowly escaped a bullet on 3 different occasions, Paladin. The latest this morning.
3 misses isn't a very good average. Perhaps they're just trying to frighten you into selling.
Well, that's what I thought the first 2 times, but not now. Will you accompany us to Silver City, Mr. Paladin? I'll pay whatever you ask.
I'll be ready to leave at sunup.
Everywhere you go, across the country trip or across the street party, you carry the fun with you when you own a Columbia stereophonic high-fidelity phonograph. There's a marvelous selection of 7 new portable models in smart new color combinations at your Columbia phonograph dealer from which you may choose. Each one is a masterpiece of design and beauty. More quality, more features, and more styling have been built into these sturdy portables than ever before. How much fun you'll have enjoying all the wonderful new sound of stereo records. Regular records take on new beauty, too, when played on handsome Columbia portables. you'll be amazed at the big console sound that is reproduced by Columbia portable stereophonic high-fidelity phonographs. You'll thrill to the excitement of Stereo One by Columbia, #1 in the wonderful world of sound. And Columbia portables are economical, too. Prices start as low as $24.95. See them and hear them at your Columbia phonograph dealer.
Silver City was a 2-day ride through a hot, dry stretch of desert. Morgan drove a buckboard with Stacy Neal, his fiancée, on the seat beside him. I rode alongside, trying to keep out of the dust that boiled up. There wasn't much chance that an attempt would be made on his life out here. Nothing moved. Even the lizards had taken cover from the heat. Morgan!
Yeah?
Those willows off to the left. We'll stop for water.
All right.
Can I give you a hand, Miss Neal?
Thank you.
It's not much of a spring, is it?
No, but it's the last water between here and Rough and Ready.
Rough and Ready?
That's the next town. We'll stay there tonight and go on to Silver City in the morning.
Oh, that spring looks good to me.
You know, men come to the desert in search of gold. Maybe this is the real treasure out here. Water.
I think the desert presents a challenge to come out and fight it. I could beat it, I'd wager.
Darling, aren't you happy there's no one here to call that particular bet?
I think we'd better get moving.
Why, what's the hurry?
Look behind.
Huh?
The rider on that far rise.
How long has he been there?
I noticed him just after we stopped.
I suppose he's been following us?
Maybe. Chances are he's just another traveler heading for this spring.
I don't like it.
Well, the town's straight ahead. After the horses are watered, the canteens are filled, you go on.
What are you going to do?
Double back. Do a little checking. I backtracked for some distance, then stopped by a sandstone bluff to wait for the man riding down the trail toward me. When he drew alongside, he reined in.
Something I can do for you?
Yeah. Just give me a little information, like who you are, where you're headed, why.
That's a lot of information to give out to a stranger.
My name is Paladin.
You're still a stranger to me. But I don't mind telling you, I'm Howard Gorman.
I've heard of you and your gun.
Well, now.
12 men, isn't it?
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Come to think of it, maybe it's about time I started thinking about adding that lucky 13th.
Oh?
There's something about nosy people.
I got the idea that maybe you were following us.
Why'd I want to follow you?
I'm not sure. But it's my business to find out.
That's fine. I like to know you're tending to your business. But just stay out of mine. There's something about nosy people gets me riled. Yeah.
Rough and Ready was the only town within a good many miles, and it boasted just one hotel. So I wasn't too surprised to find Gorman in the dining room when we went in to dinner. He was sitting at a corner table, deep in conversation with a well-dressed man.
He keeps looking over here.
That's the man who was following us?
Yes. Name's Howard Gorman.
Oh.
He certainly looks as if he knows how to handle those guns he's wearing.
He does. He has quite a reputation as a gunman.
Well, Danbury hired him, I'm sure of it.
Say, Morgan, do you know the man with him?
No, never seen him before.
Paladin, he's coming over here.
Paladin? Stand up.
Morgan, take Miss Neal and get out of the way.
Well, I
do as I say.
Come on, Stacy.
Paladin?
You're making a mistake, Gorman.
You going to stand up?
I'd rather finish my dinner.
It's finished.
You shouldn't do that to good food.
Well?
We'll have it your way.
I told you I'd killed 12 men, remember? Well, this is number 13.
Winston tastes good like a cigarette should because
There's filter blend up front ahead of the filter. And the flavor you get in a Winston cigarette comes from filter blend. Filter blend means fine tobacco, filter blend up front. And the flavor you get in a Winston cigarette comes from filter blend.
Filter blend is a mighty good reason for you to smoke Winston because it means tobacco's specially processed for filter smoking, a Winston secret. You get Winston's own pure white modern filter plus the rich, delightful flavor of fine tobacco.
There's filter blend up front ahead of the filter. And the fun you get in a Winston cigarette comes from filter blend and makes Winston taste good like a cigarette should. Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.
I'd been forced to kill a man, and I wasn't sure why. It was a fair fight. Gorman drew first. But somehow it didn't make any sense, and I didn't like it. Later, I went to the bar and ordered a bottle and a glass.
Paladin.
Oh, Morgan. Drink?
Oh, no, thanks. Paladin, I think we should discuss a little business.
What are you going to do, dear? Talk him out of his fee to cover your losses?
Stacy. Now, Paladin, here is your pay in this envelope.
Well, you're very generous, Mr. Morgan, but I haven't finished the job.
How's that?
Well, our arrangement was for Silver City.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter now. It's ended.
I don't understand.
Gorman is dead. That is, there's no danger now.
Morgan, if it had been Gorman shooting at you back there in San Francisco, he wouldn't have missed.
No matter, Paladin. It's finished. Come along, Stacy.
Not now.
Well. Very well. Oh, Stacy, don't bore Mr. Paladin.
You know why I'm not going with him? Because he's hit me for the last time.
Hit you?
I know how he is when he's been crossed or when things don't go his way.
But...
Don't look so shocked, Mr. Paladin. Surely you know there are men like that. He's rotten. Maybe I'm rotten, too. I put up with him because he was rich. But I've had enough. Tonight was too much.
Tonight?
Oh, you still don't understand, do you?
I guess not.
Do you remember the man sitting at the table with the gunman?
Yes.
His name is Shawcross. He's Sid Morgan's business partner.
Business partner? But Morgan said that
I
he didn't...
know. He said he'd never seen him before. They're two of the same kind, those men, sporting gentlemen. It was a bet.
A bet?
They'd heard of your reputation with a gun. They knew Gorman was good and could be hired to kill, so they set it up for you to shoot it out and made a wager on the outcome. Morgan lost.
This was all set up?
Yes.
I killed a man to provide an evening's entertainment?
Yes. They've been doing things like that for years and getting away with it. Oh, it's over, Paladin. You might as well forget it.
Forget it?
They didn't break any law. There's no way to reach them. There never is.
Stacy?
Morgan! Come down here.
Yes?
I was very interested in what Miss Neal had to say.
Oh. She told you, huh? Well, you've no complaint, Paladin, you were well paid.
Paid for what, Mr. Morgan? To kill a man for a sideshow?
Well, I didn't realize you gunmen drew a fine line.
Well, right now it might be a pleasure to kill. You're wearing a gun. Why don't you draw?
I had no reason to draw against you, Paladin.
Now you have a reason.
I won't draw, Paladin. I won't give you the excuse to shoot me. There's no way, Paladin, unless you choose to commit a real murder.
I spent a long night with no sleep and an anger that kept growing. But finally, I had to face the fact that probably the lady was right. It was over. I should forget it. It was early morning when I stopped at a desk on my way out of the hotel.
Yes, sir.
The lady, Miss Neal, has she come down yet?
Come down. Oh, yes, sir. All of them did. They left in a buckboard before dawn 2-3 hours ago.
What do you mean, all of them?
Well, lady and Mr. Morgan and Mr. Shawcross.
They all left together?
Yeah. Lady, poor little thing.
Poor little thing? What do you mean?
Well, she was crying. I kind of got the notion she'd no cotton to the idea of going alone.
Have them bring my horse around. I have some riding to do.
Car owners, have you ever heard of K-Site Smooth Seal?
Why, no.
Why, no.
Is it new? What does it do?
Well, this is off the record. Just between us boys, your automatic transmission, does it ever make a noise?
You mean a little kind of grinding? Does that little chatter matter? I hear a very weird whir sometimes.
It doesn't sound good, boys, but let's be sure. When you're sitting at the light and it goes to green, you put your foot down hard. Have you ever felt a sort of a jerk, a kind of a jar, or heaven help you, a real thud bump?
Oh, I've felt it.
Oh, me too.
I've had it, stranger. What do we do?
Well, don't buy a horse and don't trade your car. Just get yourself some new K-Site Smooth Seal.
New K-Site Smooth Seal?
New K-Site Smooth Seal.
New K-Site Smooth Seal? How will that help?
Why, it's made to soften those shrunken seals, which are apt to leak when there's power on the wheels. It stops those thud bumps, jerks, and jars that are apt to creep into these modern cars. Why, this K-Site Smooth Seal in one application can pack them all off on a long vacation, and it's less than $2 at your service station. A little new K-Site Smooth Seal, boy?
Come on, I'll go. And if it doesn't work?
You get double your money back.
I had no trouble picking up the tracks of the buckboard, but my travel was slow. I wasn't quite sure what I was looking for until I found it. And then I realized I'd had a hunch that was correct. She was lying just off the trail. Stacy. Stacy.
Paladin.
Here. Here's water for you. Water. Yeah. Now take it easy. Not too much now.
Good. This was his way of getting even for what I told you.
Yes, I realize that.
I guess it doesn't matter. Because I asked for it.
Of course it matters. Stacy, you think you can stand up?
Yes, I think so.
Here, let me help you. A little wobbly, huh?
A little wobbly. Where are we going?
I'm going to help you on my horse. Then we're going to find Mr. Morgan and Mr. Shawcross.
You'll never be able to catch up with
No,
them.
not on the trail. But we can cut across the desert and head them off. You feel able to travel?
Let's go.
It was a hard ride. But when the buckboard came into the turn where the trail leveled off to border a dry lake, we were waiting. Stacy, stay back.
Hold it! Paladin, what is this?
If I fire again, Morgan, it won't be in the air.
Now, don't be hasty, Mr. Paladin.
Yes, Shawcross, I understand. This gun won a bet for you. Gives you some respect for it, huh? All right, get down.
Paladin, whatever it
Get
is.
down. Throw your guns on the ground.
Paladin, Paladin, wait now. You're a smart man. And we have money, Paladin. We have lots of money.
So I understand.
I'm sure you're a reasonable man.
Certainly, but I'm also curious. I'm curious as to just how far your money will go in protecting you.
Let us go on to Silver City. You just name a price.
Silver City?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll show you a shortcut.
Oh?
Silver City is due east, across this dry lake. 30 miles exactly, about a 3-day walk. You better get started.
What?
Are you insane?
I told you, I'm curious. You left Stacy to take her chances with the desert with no water.
Well, but Paladin...
You're going to have better odds. I'll give you a canteen.
This is murder.
Oh, no. It's a wager. I made a bet with myself that 2 men carrying a canteen of water could walk 30 miles across this desert.
You can't mean that.
Oh, but I do.
All right. You're going to force us to do this, Paladin?
I am.
Very well. In spite of what your intentions might be, we will consider it a challenge. Shawcross?
All right.
The canteen, Paladin.
Here.
Thank you. Let's just understand this much, Shawcross. We make it to nightfall before taking any water.
Yes. The important thing is not to lose our heads.
By all means.
One thing, Paladin. You'll pay for this.
Suppose you get started.
Paladin.
Yes?
It is murder.
No.
That sun will kill them.
No, Stacy. They'll destroy themselves. We watched the figures of the men grow small in the distance. Then I tied my horse on behind the buckboard, and we started out across the dry lake, driving slowly behind them, keeping them always in sight. Hours passed, and the sun beat down without mercy. And more hours passed.
Their plan didn't seem to work.
What's that?
Saving the water, have you noticed? You can see them passing the canteen back and forth.
Yes. Oh, Stacy. I don't belong here.
Where?
In the judgment seat. Nah, I'm going after them.
I thought you would.
Come on.
Paladin! Paladin, look!
Oh, no.
Hurry, you've got to stop him!
Morgan! He's dead.
Yes. Yes, I killed him. Took 2 swallows of water. He was only supposed to take 1. I killed him with this rock.
I guess you're not beyond the law this time, Morgan.
2 swallows. The agreement was 1.
Come on.
And now, the Bickersons.
John Bickerson, I can't stand it.
What's the matter, Blanche? What's the matter?
It's that horrible snoring.
Must be that fat guy next door. I'll fix him.
Why did you close the window, John?
You said the neighbors were snoring.
Oh, silly, they're on vacation. And I've been worried they might have car trouble on their trip.
She's worried. Before they left, Harry took the car into his GM dealers for Guardian maintenance. Right now, they're offering performance service specials just so summer driving will be trouble-free and worry-free.
You think Guardian maintenance is all right, don't you?
All right. Why, it's the best kind of service for the best kind of cars, even at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, good night, Blanche.
We recommend a daytime call on your GM dealer for educated service by trained mechanics using special tools and factory-approved parts. If you own a Chevy, Pontiac, Olds, Buick, or Cadillac, get Guardian Maintenance.
Have Gun, Will Travel. Created by Herb Meadow and Sam Rolfe, is produced and directed in Hollywood by Norman McDonnell and stars John Daner as Paladin, with Ben Wright as Hayboy. Tonight's story was written by Dennis and Terry Sanders and adapted for radio by Ann Dowd. Featured in the cast were Lawrence Dobkin, Lynn Allen, Barney Phillips, and Vic Perrin. Hugh Douglas speaking. Join us again next week when CBS Radio presents Have Gun, Will Travel.
And that's Have Gun, Will Travel, broadcast from July 26, 1959. That was called The Wager, starring John Daner. Yeah, Richard Boone was Paladin on TV, but on radio it was John Daner. You heard a bunch of different sponsors on there. By the late 1950s, these shows weren't sponsored by one sponsor anymore. They would have 2, 3, 4 sponsors, like on television now. You have a lot of different sponsors bringing you a half hour, an hour-long show. Hope you enjoyed. Good Western adventure, adult Western. There were kids' Westerns and there were adult Westerns. Have Gun, Will Travel was specifically for adults. In just a few minutes, we're going to tune into a very rare Boston Blackie episode. There's a lot of episodes of Boston Blackie, good detective series starring Dick Kalmar, but we have one starring Chester Morris. Chester Morris played Boston Blackie in the movies. We have that for you in just a minute. I want to show you a book that I wrote along with Martin Graham's, and I'd love you to consider putting this on your coffee table. It's a big, heavy coffee table book. It's about almost 5 pounds, this book, and it's 224 pages, and it is called The Top 100 Classic Radio Shows. Right, Lisa?
I know a lot of people have asked how you chose 100 shows because there are so many great radio shows. You don't even realize that so many great shows couldn't even be in the book. That's how many great shows there are. Yeah. So I know you took a poll, did some surveys, and actually made a decision, top 100 classic radio shows. What I like so much about this book is that it's got all different sections. So we can talk about comedies and crime and mystery and adventure and sci-fi, all in different Westerns, all in their own little section here.
Yeah.
And there's great photos. You've got great ads, great photos of the celebrities actually doing the radio shows. So not only are there photos, but there's chock full of information. You did a bang-up job, Carl, if I might say so
myself.
Thank
you. Each is a 2-page spread for each one of the 100 shows.
Wait, there's more.
Oh, there's more. There's more.
Wait, there's more. There's 3 CDs in the back of the book. So each CD has 2 additional radio shows on it. That would make a total of 6 radio shows.
I was pretty good at math.
There's more. We also have a code for you to download an additional 72 radio shows if you buy this book. So if you love classic radio, this is the book for you. How do you get the book?
Well, first of all, it's only $29.99. And you can get it at our website, Hollywood360radio.com, Hollywood360radio.com. Real proud of the book. I would love it if you wanted to display it on your coffee table. I have one on my coffee table. Lisa has one on hers.
Well, he forced me into it, but okay.
So check out the book, I think you'll really like it.
It's great.
And I know you're going to like Boston Blackie. Boston Blackie is one of my favorite radio detective shows. It came to radio in 1944. There were a bunch of Columbia pictures starring Chester Morris. And in 1944, for a summer replacement on the Amos and Andy show, NBC said, let's try Boston Blackie on radio. And so they were able to get the star of the films, Chester Morris, to play Boston Blackie in a short-lived summer replacement series, about 13 episodes. We have one of those episodes for you now. It is from August 4th, 1944. And real quick, Boston Blackie, the origins of Boston Blackie is he was a thief. He was a jewel thief, and he was rehabilitated in jail and decided, I'm going to use my knowledge of the underworld to fight crime. So he was an amateur detective on the radio series and in the movies, and later even on a television series starring Kent Taylor. But the radio show is really great, and you're going to love Chester Morris in this. So this is called Alice Manletter Disappears. From August 4th, 1944, here's Chester Morris as Boston Blackie.
Lever Brothers, makers of Rinso, R-I-N-S-O, Soapy Rich Rinso, present Boston Blackie, starring Chester Morris.
Front boy, did you sign the register, please, sir? Right here. Yes, Miss Manletter. Is there some trouble with your room?
Oh, no, it's fine, thank you. I was just wondering, do you know a Mr. Boston Blackie when you see him?
No, I don't know him. I'm sorry, Miss Manletter.
Well, thanks, just the same. I'm supposed to meet him here in the lobby, but I have no idea what he looks like. My uncle arranged the appointment before I left San Francisco.
Oh, there's a man standing over by the newsstand who looks as if he were waiting for someone.
Oh? Oh, yes. Oh, I'm sure that must be Mr. Blackie. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello there. I hope you'll forgive me. Wasn't I supposed to meet you here? You're you, aren't you?
Yes.
At least Uncle should have had you wear a white carnation.
According to Uncle, white carnations don't stay white long in Pittsburgh.
Uncle told me that you were very witty. But they do in San Francisco, you know.
Well, shall we go?
Where to? Oh, no, don't tell me. I'd rather be surprised.
All right, let's go.
Oh, clerk, I found the man I was looking for. Thank you for your trouble.
No trouble at all. Hello? Room clerk speaking.
Hello. Would you do me a favor, please? I'm supposed to meet a young lady in your lobby, and I've been delayed. Would you have a page, please? Her name is Alice Manletter.
Miss Manletter?
Yes.
Why, she just left here a minute ago. She met someone she was expecting, and she left with him.
Well, that's impossible. Miss Manletter doesn't know anyone in New York.
Well, she told me she had an appointment with a Mr. Boston Blackie, and that's the man she left here with.
But that can't be possible.
And why not?
Because I'm Boston Blackie.
In a few moments, we will meet Boston Blackie, but right now, a thought about the weather. I'll bet it sometimes doesn't seem fair to you ladies. Here it is summer, blistering hot days, days when you ought to be taking it easy. And what happens? You've got a bigger wash than ever to worry about. More towels, more of the kids' play clothes, more of your own wash dresses, more shirts of Dad's, more everything. Well, you couldn't pick a more ideal time than now to switch to Soapy Rich Rinso. With Rinso, even the biggest, grimiest wash goes like a breeze. As little as 5 minutes per load with Rinso in your washer, and your clothes are sparkling Rinso white, clean as a whistle. And Rinso is safe for washable colors, too. Leaves them Rinso bright after dozens of washings. You'll be mighty proud of your Rinso wash, and proud, too, that you bought the big green and yellow package that made it so easy to do. Better get Rinso before next wash day. And now, meet Boston Blackie, radio's newest adventure star. Meet Boston Blackie, enemy to those who make him an enemy, friend to those who have no friend.
Listen, clerk, try to think. What did the man look like? I mean, the one Miss Manletter left with.
I don't know, Mr. Blackie. You're rather good-looking,
Yes.
about your height and build.
But Miss Manletter didn't know anybody in New York. Her uncle told me that when he asked me to meet her.
Well, I'm sorry I can't help you.
Well, thanks just the same. Oh, here's my card.
Mm-hmm.
If Miss Manletter returns, have her call this number, will you?
Yes, I will.
Taxi, sir?
No, thanks. Look, Dorman, did you happen to notice a man and a girl leaving here about 10 minutes ago? A pretty girl and a man about my height?
Yes, sir. Come to think of it, I did call a taxi for a couple of that answers that description.
Well, do you remember which cab it was?
Yes, it was the one Mike O'Hara drives.
Oh.
That's O'Hara just pulling up to the end of the line now.
Well, thanks a lot. Here, buy your wife some flowers.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
O'Hara,
Yes, sir.
you just drove a man and a young lady somewhere. I want to go where they went.
Oh, you want to follow someone?
You're a bright lad, O'Hara.
I don't want to get into any trouble. Maybe you better get another cab.
Oh, you won't get into any trouble. You see, I'm Inspector Faraday of the Homicide Department.
Oh, Inspector Faraday.
That's right. Okay, step on it.
Oh, sure, Inspector. I'll go as fast as I can. This is it. This is the place I left them off. Right in front of this store.
Oh, thanks. Here, buy yourself a couple of cigars.
Oh, thank you, sir. Gee, I'll buy you a box.
No.
Well, how do you do? I'm looking for a young couple who came here a few minutes ago.
You're looking for a couple. I'm looking for a couple. I'll take a single yet. Nobody comes here. Only Pop and me. Even Pop ain't here now. They have nobody else. See for yourself.
Well, thanks. May I use your telephone, please?
Certainly. That'll be 10 cents. You wouldn't be interested in buying anything, would you, mister?
No, thanks.
No. Well, nobody ever buys anything.
Hello, Ashley Hotel? I'd like to speak to the room clerk, please. Say, Mom, have you got any chewing gum?
Chewing gum he asked for. Is he kidding?
Room clerk speaking.
This is Boston Blackie. Have you had any word from Miss Alice Manletter?
Oh, Mr. Blackie, Miss Manletter's been trying to reach you. She wants you to come down here to see her right away. She's in room 305.
Thank you very much. I'll be right over.
Three, please. Third floor.
Oh, thank you. 301, 303. Oh, here we are, 305.
Come in.
Hello.
Hello. So you're Boston Blackie.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad to see you, Miss Manletter. You know, your uncle asked me to look out for you, and then you disappear. Well, you didn't even give me a chance.
Oh, you mean this morning?
Yes.
No, I just met a friend, that's all. He followed me from San Francisco.
Well, I don't blame him. I'd have followed you, too. How was your trip?
Oh, wonderful. This is my first time in New York. You know, I practically lived in a dream all the way here.
Well, how do you like what you've seen of it?
Wonderful.
You know, I'd like to show you the real town.
Oh, well, I'd like to, only I've sort of an engagement tonight.
Oh, the same fella?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't wasted much time before I came here, have you?
Only the 18 years before I came here. Isn't that enough?
Well, that's enough for me to be running along, Alice. Oh, here's my phone number, and if you want anything, you just call. How about lunch tomorrow, huh?
Oh, I'd love it. Thanks, Mr. Blackie, for everything.
Oh, everything is nothing. Good night, Alice.
$25, boss. Nice shooting.
Oh, Shorty, she's a beautiful girl.
Look, why don't you forget names for a minute?
Give me a good reason.
15. Just like I'm telling you, boss, your hand ain't steady. You need some more practice.
Well, this Maxim silencer doesn't fit this gun too well.
Oh, how come the new gun, Blackie? Where's your old one?
Well, you see, Shorty,
You what?
Well, I hate to admit it, but I guess I was robbed.
Boston Blackie robbed?
Yeah.
Hey, boss, you ain't in any trouble.
I don't know.
Gee, bullseye, boss.
Yeah, I guess this new gun will do until I get my old one back. There's nothing like a workout with a target to keep your aim in shape, Shorty.
You know, I got a funny idea about that, boss.
Yeah?
I don't care if my aim ain't so good as long as the other guys ain't either.
I'll get it, Shorty.
All right.
Hello?
Blackie?
Well, Inspector Faraday, my favorite cop.
Mm-hmm. How'd you guess?
Oh, how could I miss those low, dulcet tones, Inspector?
I want you down here in 10 minutes, Blackie, or I'll send for you.
That's fine, but where's down here?
The Ashley Hotel, room 305.
You won't have to send for me, Inspector. I'll be right down.
Say, boss, Faraday hasn't got you jumping through a rope, has he?
Room 305, Ashley Hotel. Shorty, that's Alice Manletter's room.
Third floor, please. Watch your step getting out.
Thank you.
Come on.
Hi, Inspector. Holy mac...
Yeah, Blackie, she's dead.
Dead?
As if you didn't know.
Oh, wait a minute. How did you know about this, Faraday?
O'Hara, the taxi driver, got suspicious, so reported to headquarters.
Oh.
From his description, I knew it was you, and then I got suspicious. So you're going around impersonating me now, eh, Blackie?
Well, you should be flattered.
Why did you kill her?
Wait a minute, Faraday.
Okay, boys, cover him.
Now, don't be a dope. I promised to look after this girl. She was all right when I left her a little while ago.
Yeah, maybe. After we discovered the body, the boys and I waited for you to make an appearance. We knew you'd be back.
Now, Faraday, listen. This girl was Arthur Manletter's niece.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take care of whoever was responsible for her murder.
No, I'll do that, Blackie. You killed her. Now, that's your gun in her hand.
My gun? But I don't see how that...
We checked the serial numbers, Blackie.
I don't care what you checked.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take me in for this. I didn't kill her, I tell you.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe the serial number on this gun is wrong. You know what a paraffin test is, Blackie?
Oh, sure, I know.
All right. Well, we'll get down to headquarters and cover your hand with paraffin.
Fine.
Then we'll be able to tell whether you fired a gun in the last couple of hours
Now,
or not.
Inspector, will you listen?
Yeah.
This girl came to New York this morning.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't supposed to know anybody in town.
Mm-hmm.
And then she told me she'd met a friend.
Well, what are you trying to prove?
I'm trying to prove that somebody killed Alice Manletter, and I've got to be free to find out who did it.
Well, you won't be. I'll see to that personally. And now, wait a minute now. What are you doing in that girl's handbag?
Don't get scared, Inspector, please.
Well, what are you doing?
You've got 4 cops with guns on me.
Yeah?
This isn't a trick. I might find something here that will help me track down the murderer.
We've searched this whole place, Tom Blackie. There's nothing here. Hold on. Wait a minute. What are you taking out of that bag?
Well, I don't know yet. It's just a piece of paper.
Well, I'll take it. What's this? Boston 5, Zealand, Louisiana 3, Saskatchewan, Tennessee 2, Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada. Go ahead.
What are you doing?
I'm just writing down what you've said.
Well, this doesn't make sense. Missouri 1, 3, Denver 4, France.
Well, you see, Faraday, that's a code.
Well, you're going to have plenty of time to work it out, Blackie. Come on, let's get going. I'm going to give your hand a paraffin test to find out whether you fired a gun recently. And if you have, take it from me, pal, you'll have to do some talking to keep your head above water.
Well, I'm afraid, Inspector, the only way I can keep my head above water is to duck you.
Boston Blackie apparently is in a spot. And speaking of spots, so was a friend of mine the other day. You see, a lady I know of looked out of her window one morning, and it was such a lovely day she felt like singing.
Dum da 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 da, dee 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 dee.
And all of a sudden, she remembered it was wash day.
Oh, shucks.
So she got ready to do her wash and found she was out of soap. Well, time was wasting, so she borrowed some from her next-door neighbor. A soap she'd heard a lot about but never tried before. Yes, you guessed it. It was Soapy Rich Rinso. And when she saw what mountains of suds Rinso made...
Well, what do you know?
And how quickly those Rinso suds soaked her clothes dazzling white, and how she only had to give the very dirty places a few quick finger rubs because Rinso gets out more dirt, she started singing all over again like this.
Rinse all white, happy little wash day song. Rinse all white, birdie sing it all day long. Your fine feathered friend has a message to send, so listen, you can't go wrong. Rinse all white, happy little wash day song.
Sing your way through your next wash day with Rinso. Boston Blackie is in Inspector Faraday's office awaiting the police laboratory report that will show whether he has fired a gun within the past few hours, so that Faraday can build a complete case against him for the murder of the girl in the Ashley Hotel.
How does it feel, Blackie? To be sitting there just waiting for a report that could send you to the chair? You nervous?
Boston 5, Zealand. That's the first word. Now, you take the first letters of each word and you get buzz.
Great. How do you do it, Blackie? You get
That's right.
Yeah, now we know everything. Who killed the girl, what her mother's maiden name was, and what town she was born in.
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. After the first letter, there's the number 5. See, that could be the 5th vowel. You know, A-E-I-O-U.
That's right.
Or do you?
Yes.
Then the word would spell B-U-Z-Z.
Marvelous.
Buzz.
Buzz.
Inspector, this is a clue to the murder. Now, using that system of spelling out the first letters of each word, the note reads buzz, listen, made, off.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I wish I knew.
Yeah, Faraday. Right. Thanks. Well, that was it, Blackie. The test showed you fired a gun, all right. And the gun we found next to the girl's body was yours.
Now, Inspector, I lost my gun, and it's true I fired another. But I was just practicing.
Sure, on a live target.
Oh.
You don't expect me to believe that, do you, Blackie?
Well, frankly, no.
You killed her, and then you put your gun, in her hand. After wiping off your fingerprints, of course. Oh, that's an old trick, Blackie, an old one. I'm surprised at you. Hey, Matthews, take Blackie down to the cell floor and lock him up. We'll book him later.
Right, Chief. Come on, Blackie.
Okay. Well, you look very nice today, Matthews. New uniform? Who's your tailor?
You won't be able to go to him for a long time.
You know, good old Matthews. Snappy clothes and pattern to match. Say, Inspector, may I wash my hands? Well, they're covered with ink from that fingerprint pad. Is it okay?
Oh, sure. But keep an eye on him, Matthews. I'll beat it, both of you. I'm thinking.
Thinking, huh? I'd love to watch. Come on, Matthews. Lock me up. So long, Inspector. Faraday said I could wash my hands, Matthews. Remember?
Go ahead, but no tricks. Here's the washroom. But remember, I'll be right back here with my gun in my hand.
Oh, goody.
I'll let you in on a little secret, Blackie.
What's that?
The inspector brought in a half a dozen extra cops from another precinct, just to make sure you didn't break out of here.
No. Only half a dozen? Well, I'm flattered. By the way, Matthews, did you take a shower this morning?
No, last night.
Well, you need another one. Now.
Hey, quit splashing water all over me. I can't see. Hey, give me my gun.
Not a chance. I'm going to gag you, Matthews, and lock you in here. Come on, turn around. There. Now try and yell. And I want to borrow your uniform. If there are strange cops here, they'll think I'm one of them. You see, I'm leaving in your uniform. Come on, Matthews. Come on, take it off.
Blackie, if Faraday ever finds this waterfront hideout of ours, you know we're sunk.
Oh, Faraday couldn't find a skunk in a perfume shop. Will you stop worrying?
Okay. What do we do next, boss?
Well, nothing until I get that long-distance call through to Arthur Manletter. The operator's trying to reach him in San Francisco now.
So after we reach him, so what?
Well, I won't know, Shorty, till I talk to him. You see, the only thing I've been able to do since I walked out of headquarters an hour ago was to break the code we found in that girl's bag. It read buzz, listen, made, off.
Yeah. You told me that before.
Yes, I know, but those words don't make sense. However, suppose we try an association.
You mean we're going to join a club?
Oh, cut it out, Shorty, please. Now, for instance, what does the word buzz make you think of?
A bee.
That's right. Now, let's say the first word is bee.
Yeah.
Now, the second word in the code message is listen.
Uh-huh.
What does that make you think of?
Listen, I don't know. Hey, wait a minute, boss.
Yeah?
Don't tell me now. I'll get it.
Listen. The word is here.
Oh.
So the message starts, be here.
Uh-huh.
Then the last two words are made and off. Oh, by the way, Shorty, what's the maid's day off?
Thursday, if anybody still has got one.
Yeah, Thursday's right. So the message reads, be here Thursday.
Oh, that's it. Yesterday was Thursday, the day the gal came to town.
Sure.
Oh,
that's the code, all right. Only what good... There's my call now.
All right.
Hello?
Blackie, this is Manletter in San Francisco.
Oh, hello, Arthur.
Blackie, what's happened? I just heard the radio. It said that Alice has been murdered. The police were searching for you. It's not true, is it, Blackie?
Yes, I'm afraid it's true, Arthur. But you know I didn't do it.
Well, of course you didn't.
I don't know how it happened, but I'm going to find out.
Blackie, look, I feel terrible.
Oh,
This is
sure.
her 20th birthday. The trip was a present from me.
20th birthday? Wait a minute, Arthur. Is Is she a brunette?
No. She had the most beautiful blonde hair you ever saw.
Oh, that's wonderful. Arthur, your niece wasn't murdered.
What?
It wasn't Alice. Now, take my word for it.
But the radio said...
Never mind the radio. Your niece wasn't murdered, and I'm going to find her, Arthur. You'll hear from me.
Thanks, Blackie. Thanks. Call me as soon as you know anything, will you?
I will. Goodbye.
Now, why did you tell him that for, Blackie?
Because it's true, Shorty. You see, I never saw the real Alice Manletter. I took it for granted she was the girl in the hotel room.
Oh.
But that girl said she was 18, and Manletter's niece is 20. And the color of her hair settles it.
Okay, but what happens now?
Well, the real Alice Manletter left the hotel this morning with a man.
Uh-huh.
The cab driver gave me the address, but she wasn't there, of course. They evidently got off there, but must have walked down the street to another house.
Well, what do we do first?
Well, let's see. First, we've got to get a couple of messenger uniforms.
Yeah.
Then you'll take one side of the street, and I'll take the other, and we'll ring every doorbell and say we have a wire for Alice Manletter.
Well, what good will that do?
Whoever is holding Alice will know it's a trick and will try to grab us. That's what I'll be waiting for. Telegram for Alice Manletter.
Ain't nobody here by that name.
Are you sure?
Sure, I'm sure. There ain't nobody in this block by that name either. I don't know. I've lived here for 40 years.
Gee, this reminds me of Allen's Alley. Should I try the next block?
Well, we'll try it together, but I got 2 more houses to go. Wait for me.
Okay.
I've got to find that girl, Shorty.
Okay, boss. If it's a girl, you'll find her.
What do you want?
Telegram for Alice Manletter.
Will you come in?
Well, is Miss Manletter here? She's got a sign for this personally. Ah, nice place you have here. I noticed a sign outside saying this was a doctor's home.
In here, please.
Yeah, okay. Thanks. Hey, what's this?
See if he is armed, Otto.
Yeah, I'll see. Keep your gun on him, Joe.
Yeah, well.
Hey, here's his gun here, Doctor. Here, in his card case.
Boston Blackie. We were hoping you would come. It took you a little longer than we thought.
Oh, you knew I'd be here, huh?
The girl said she was supposed to meet you in the hotel lobby.
Uh-huh.
And Otto here made a mistake and thought she was one of us.
I see. So that's what happened.
Otto was supposed to meet one girl, he met another. He thought she was someone else, and she thought he was someone else. Simple blunder.
Oh, you mean the super race has made a simple blunder?
But everything has been taken care of. This girl knows no one else in the city, and very soon she will know nothing at all.
Oh, I see. And that goes for me, too, I suppose.
Jawohl.
Ouch, but you take it easy with my hands back there, boy.
I am tight, Otto. His feet, too.
Easy.
Good, good. We have only a few moments.
Yeah, that's right. You just listen to the newscasts. You better work fast, boys. You have only a few moments. Warsaw, Paris, Berlin.
American pig. Take him in the other room. Better carry him.
Yeah. Help me, Joe.
Yeah. I open the door for you. Just throw him in. The lens on his neck. It's too bad.
Ready, Joe?
Throw him. Yeah.
Who is that?
Well, I think it's me, Boston Blackie.
Oh.
You're Alice Manletter, of course.
Boston Blackie, I'm so glad you're here.
Thanks.
So much has happened to me.
Yes, I think I know most of it.
You think we'll get out of here?
Well, we're certainly going to try. Let's do something about these ropes. You're tied up, too, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, they weren't nice enough to leave some lights on so I could see what it was doing. Well, there's the first one off. Now for my legs. Say, I just thought of something. That girl accomplice must have lifted my gun when I was up there, figuring that if I found out she was a spy, she could take care of me. Oh, well, the legs are free. Now I'll untie you.
Thank you. What's that?
They're going to send a message. We'll be able to hear what they say. The microphone's right up against the wall. Now, your hands are free. Work on your ankles, and I'll listen.
All right.
There's Ketchivan. Hand over 4-2. There's Ketchivan.
S-H-O-E-S. Shoes.
1, Nevada, Denver.
A-N-D. And shoes and...
There's Ketchivan. 2, 1, Louisiana. 3, Nevada, Georgia, Wisconsin. 1, them dipping.
Sealing wax. Shoes and sealing wax.
1, 5, Tennessee. 5, Missouri, Nevada.
A-U-T-U-M-N. Autumn. Shoes and sealing wax, autumn. That's the message so far.
Geneva 1, Louisiana 1, Hanover 1, Denver, Louisiana 1, Nevada, Chicago 2, Louisiana 4, Tennessee.
That spells Galahad and Lancelot.
They stopped sending.
Yeah.
What did they say? Do you know?
Now keep working on those ropes, Alice.
Yes.
Now, here's the message. Shoes and sealing wax. That's from Alice in Wonderland. The word missing is ships. Well, that could be the first word in the message.
That's the way it works?
Sure. Now, let's see. The next thing was autumn. Autumn. What's that make you think of, Alice?
I don't know. Autumn leaves, perhaps?
That's it. Then they said Galahad and Launcelot. They were 2 knights of the Round Table.
2 nights.
That's it. Ships leave, 2 night. That's the message. We've got to get out and stop that convoy from sailing. There'll be a U-boat packed waiting for its shore.
I've worked the knot loose, I think.
Good. Now give me your ropes. I'm going to need them.
What are you going to do?
Well, they'll be in for us in a minute. Is there a chair in the room?
There's one next to me. I'm leaning against
Good.
it.
I'll put it alongside the door and stand on it. When the Nazis come in, you'll be in back of the door and slam it shut behind them.
But they'll see us.
Oh, no, not a chance. The room is too dark. I'll drop a noose over them, but quick.
Shh. I think I hear something.
Okay. Now I'll carry this chair over, and you stand behind the door.
All ready, Blackie.
Yeah, me too.
We'll do it, Doctor, just like you said. Come in with me, Joe.
Now, Alice. Your gun. Get out your gun, Otto. I can't get it out. My arms are pinned down. Here's a present, Nazi. Oh. Now, don't be jealous, pal. Here's one for you, too. Oh, you can take it, huh, kid? Okay. Well, I guess that does it, Alice.
What is going on in there? Otto,
Oh,
Joe.
watch this, Alice. Come in here, Doctor, quick.
What is look?
This is... Alice, get on that telephone in the other room, quick. Tell the FBI what you know. Then call Inspector Faraday while I keep an eye on these Nazis. Now, when you get him, I
Hold
want
it,
you to...
Blackie, hold it. Don't move. I've got you cold this time.
Well, hot or cold, you'll hate yourself in the morning, Faraday, but I'm glad you're here. How did you manage it?
I managed it, boss.
What?
I got worried, and I couldn't bust in here alone, so I called your old friend Faraday.
Oh.
Yeah, and I landed up here with both feet in 10 minutes flat.
When you do anything with your feet, Faraday, flat is the right word. Oh, thanks, Alice, for clearing me with Faraday.
Oh, Blackie, you're wonderful.
Oh.
You saved my life and broke up a spy ring, and it doesn't bother you a bit. Don't you feel good about it?
Oh, I should say I do. So good, I'm going to celebrate.
Alone?
Oh, no. You're coming with me, Alice. But first, we're going to call your Uncle Arthur.
What are you going to say?
Well, I'm going to tell him I've spent a lot of time looking for you. But from now on, I'm looking after you.
We'll be back in just a moment with an interesting preview of next week's program. Now, you know those rich Rinso suds I've been telling you are such a help on wash day? Well, they're just as big a help come dishwashing time. Yes, ma'am. Milder than ever Rinso is easy on your hands, too. Doesn't get them rough and red. So, for dishwashing and for all the soap and water jobs around the house, better get Rinso to help you out.
Now, Matthews, you say this is a complete record of the people who came into Gordon's store yesterday?
That's right, Inspector.
Mm-hmm. Mrs. Van Dyke Smythe, George Ellis, Lady Mary Andrews. Hey, quite an exclusive list of customers for a small shop.
Yeah, ain't it?
Let's see now. This name here. Was he a customer?
Yeah, Inspector. Gordon says he was in about noon, but that could have been a coincidence.
Matthews, when a string of pearls is missing from a certain store and a certain party was in that certain store and the certain party's name was Boston Blackie, that's no coincidence.
Friends, of course you know the tremendous part our merchant marine is playing in the war. But did you know that the merchant marine is being expanded to meet increasing supply problems on every front, to meet the universal demand for a strong post-war merchant marine? Yes, 6 ships a day instead of 5 will soon be coming off the ways of our shipyards, and every one of them must be manned by 40 to 50 men. So, if you have had previous sea experience, or if you want to get into a well-paying job where everything you do will help to win the war and to build your own personal future, then join the United States Merchant Marine. Apply at once by wiring collect to United States Merchant Marine, Washington, D.C.
Warm weather's here, and that means greater danger from perspiration. Protect yourself. Use Lifebuoy in your daily bath. You know, of 7 leading brands, Lifebuoy gives you the most soap for your money. And its rich, purifying Lifebuoy lather agrees with your skin. And don't forget, Lifebuoy's the only soap especially made to stop Be sure to listen at this same time next week for another exciting adventure with Boston Blackie. You can see Chester Morris as Boston Blackie on the screen at your favorite movie theater. Boston Blackie's latest Columbia picture is One Mysterious Night, soon to be released. Richard Lane appears as Inspector Faraday, music by Charles Cornell. This is Harlow Wilcox saying good night for Boston Blackie, brought to you by the makers of Rinso, the soap that gets clothes. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
That's Boston Blackie, broadcast from August 4th, 1944, starring Chester Morris, a show called Alice Manletter Disappears. Chester Morris played Boston Blackie in the movies. He only played Boston Blackie on radio, a very short summer season, 13 episodes. That's one of those episodes right there. Hope you enjoyed it. You know who played Alice Manletter on that show, Lisa? Bea Benaderet. Bea Benaderet was the mom on Petticoat Junction. She was also the voice of Betty Rubble on the Flintstones. Yeah. So that's our 4 shows for this edition of Do You Remember? Hope they're going to be with us next week.
We hope so. We want to thank you for being with us today. If you just joined somewhere in the middle, this was our very first live stream with Do You Remember? We hope to have many more, and we hope that you'll continue to join us. And check out our radio show. Go to our website, Hollywood360radio.com. And we'll be back next Sunday at 7 p.m. Chicago time with more fun and some great radio shows. We listened to your suggestions on YouTube, and we came up with 4 great radio shows. We are going to start with My Favorite Husband because that is my very favorite radio show, just so it's all out there.
Yep. Lucille Ball stars on that. She had a radio show before she had I Love Lucy. In fact, that series, My Favorite Husband, morphed into the TV series I Love Lucy. So you're going to really love that. We'll start things off with that. Then we're going to tune into Suspense, one of the best of the mystery shows from the golden age of radio. Then it's Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke was on radio before TV. And then The Adventures of Sam Spade Detective starring Howard Duff. I want to thank our executive producer, Mike Costello, and all of you out there for watching. Do You Remember? And as Lisa said, we'll be back next Sunday live, 7 p.m. Central, right here. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.